Yeah. Oh, I had profound challenges. I nearly died of a cytokine storm. I had a very profound immune reaction, and no one knew what it was about. And it was attacking everything. My immune system was killing me. Um, Muscle couldn't stand up without fainting. My muscles were twitching. I had hypersalivation. I couldn't digest anything. My platelets went to hell. I had cerebral delirium. It was a Finally, I was put on massive steroids and an anti-cancer drug to kind of wipe out my immune system, and that put me back on my feet. And slowly, I devolved from that. I slowly got rid of those drugs, which are toxic, and I got more and more into the nutraceutical approach to things, and more sort of experimental drug use. Like one of the interventions I instituted for myself was low dose naltrexone, which has now become fairly popular amongst holistic physicians as an anti-inflammatory intervention. Naltrexone, again, is repurposing. Naltrexone is a drug that was used for drug addicts. It's a methadone-like molecule. It's an opiate receptor blocker. And it was found by some researchers that if you use low doses, you would get this interesting result. And it was put down to generating reflex opiates in the body's own opiates, which are called endorphins or enkephalins. You would bolster those as being the mechanism. But other people then lately came in and said, no, no, those drugs are also blocking what's called TLR receptors, toll-like receptors, which are the receptors for noxious antigens. So if you block those receptors, there's noxious antigens like bugs and in viruses and won't get there. So yeah, so you down-regulate the inflammation because when you have an autoimmune disease like I had, those antigens are your own proteins. So now, if you block the receptors to those, your immune system is blocked out a little bit. So it's both so whatever the mechanism, low dose naltrexone is an incredibly interesting, very low toxicity. In fact, no toxicity. I've never said that in public. Forgive me, my doctor friends out there. Very low toxicity.
Oh, there is a
You never say no toxicity in medicine. But I have found, not only for myself, but other people I've recommended it to, have benefited enormously from this intervention. So, and in fact, some doctors, researchers are now showing that it elongates telomeres, for example, which is a long sought after objective of the anti-aging fraternity.
uh-huh.
So, all of those things, I've drunk in a lot of information and I'm putting it to use in myself. But the mainstay is anti-inflammatory diet, exercise, sleep, good company, laughter, 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 laughter.
Life with
Yeah.
your marriage.
And my marriage and my children have kept me a very lucky man. If I lost everything in venture capital, I'd be rich still.
Still, absolutely. Let me ask you see a lot of business plans, like you're saying. Is there a place in the world anymore for companies to start up with web and mobile apps, or with like business networks, like like a Facebook, like a Microsoft, like is there any kind of any place in the world for these kind of businesses anymore, or is it kind of moved on to like pharmaceutical medical devices?
You mean the big social networks? You mean that sort of thing?
Yeah, or like
Uh,
any kind of like,
no, I mean
does it make
I
sense
I'm
to be a software engineer?
that's a very interesting question. I've never been posed to me, but uh, one of the both the benefits and the demerits of this post cell phone era or laptop era is that you not only is facile contact being enhanced, uh, and in many cases it's also demerit. People have become isolated from each other in flesh. Um, and so that, for example, there have been approaches to me with companies that are using social networking and teleconferencing type material platforms to solve loneliness issues, which are pandemic in our environment. So that maybe the very cause of the loneliness is also the solution for it. You know, by virtue of these new programs. You know, to help. Correct. Um, maybe there's one that could be devised that's solving loneliness and then enables, and links up with an Uber or a, a drone company or and actually starts to ferry people towards each other in actuality, through this social network. Um, it'd be a very interesting cooperation between Uber and Facebook.
Do you think VR would ever kind of fill that need where people had glasses that really had like visual augmented reality to it? It could look and sound like somebody who's standing beside you, even if they're not.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's an intriguing notion. That also could be attached to these kinds of networking things. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I Loneliness is a killer. Um, um, I think that electronic contact is a substitute, but not a complete one by any means. Uh, pheromones, and a little bit of spittle when people speak to you, or just
Yeah.
want,
Yeah,
you
no,
know what I
that
mean.
there's a lot to be said about the smell.
Absolutely, the pheromones are subliminal. You can't. When people talk about chemistry between people, there is something to it, and there's also some people who believe that humans, like all living creatures, generate their own magnetic aura around them, which I don't dispute. Question is whether they have any real communicative meaning. That's open for debate, but I have a feeling that people are become copacetic with each other because of all kinds of subliminal influences, not only the common interest, but also, why are you intuitively attracted to somebody who you've never talked to across a room? Maybe, when I was young, sexual attraction was an important feature of my life. It was the bane of my life in many ways. But you know, yes, and there was something about someone's features, or their poise, or their mannerisms, or or even their manner. If you got close enough, their speech patterns that completely gel, into an infatuation. And anyone else looking at them were completely blasé.
Yep.
Why is that? It's an enormous conundrum, and I think it. I don't want anyone to research it. It would spoil
The no, I certainly feel like I could find my wife from around the world.
it. Yeah.
Never mind from whatever. The that the community aspect with longevity, I think it's more than just psychological. I think it's really physiological, same as immune system with neurology. It's I think it's in some way as connected, just on a different plane.
Well, I mean, you could boil it down if you want to be prosaic about it. You could boil it down to diminution of stress. So that when you're in copacetic company and comfortable company and with people that you like or love, and you're enjoying it and laughing together, I love being with my grandchildren who make me laugh no end. I make them laugh, or fortunately, they all think I'm very funny. Um, I'm an inveterate punster. Um, I had one of my, I invested in a company in the rare earths area recently. As I told you, I go outside of medicine, but rare earths are very prominent in medicine for all kinds of reasons. radioisotopes are used in their rare earths, and rare earths are very much intrinsic to MRI and other electronic aspects of medicine. Anyway, the guy in a rare earth company, U.S. Critical Materials, um, said to me in a meeting with a whole bunch of his management and early investors, John is he's always using quips and puns. You have to get used to it. So I said yes. I said it's because punishment is part of my equipment.
There it is. There it is. Good one. Got a good
It's,
laugh out of that, I bet.
yeah, it resonated. Yeah, yeah.